3 weeks ago. Vinatieri gets it started. Morton comes up to the 8. To the outside at the 30. Still on his feet to the 40-yard line. So the Jets start with good field position. Matt Stevens with the tackle, and out comes Vinny Testaverde. Testaverde now in his 15th year in the NFL after his Heisman season at the University of Miami, Florida. Testaverde, a couple of touchdown passes in the opener against Indianapolis, won by the Colts 45-24, and he's moving up on the all-time NFL passing list. Curtis Martin, 3 years in New England, 1,000 yards each season, 3 years now in New York, 1,000 yards each of those 3, and he's the tailback. Testaverde to Crabette, and a first down at the 49 of New England. And let's take a look at the opening lineup for the New York Jets. Up front, and they've been together for 3 years. Fabini, Jenkins, Mawai, Thomas, and Young. Curtis Martin and Anderson in the backfield. Coles and Crabette wide out, and Anthony Becht is the tight end. First down in Patriot territory. That's Anderson in motion. And the toss to Martin. He's got 5 and close to 6 to the 43-yard line before Anthony Pleasant can make the tackle for the Patriots. And here they are defensively. The starters with Hamilton, Seymour, Pleasant, and Pfeiffer, an ex-Jet up front, with Vrabel and Bruschi outside, and Brian Cox, the former Jet, in the middle. Ty Law and Terrell Buckley at the corners, Stevens and Malloy the safety. Bill Belichick in his second season here in New England. Defensive mastermind, both with the Giants and Jets. Head coach at Cleveland 5 years. Pump fake by Testaverde, and he's going long. And Lavernius Coles can't get there. Terrell Buckley on the coverage for New England.
Well, Dick, talking to both head coaches, one of the things that's a big concern is the buildup of the players during the week, because you just don't flip a switch on Sunday afternoon. It is a week's preparation. It's like climbing a mountain. Both Herman Edwards and Bill Belichick were pleased with the progression of their teams as the week went along. Both said by Friday we were flying around. Both expect their teams to play well.
Third down and 4. Testaverde hit. Is it rolled a fumble? No. Incomplete pass. His arm was going forward. Anthony Pleasant and Richard Seymour, the rookie from Georgia, in there quickly.
And the call, by the way, made right on the spot by Larry Nemmers, who is our referee today, and he is one of the originals, as they are all back. And you can see Vinny Testaverde's arm moving forward, and there comes Nemmers in right away to say incomplete pass. But the officials in the NFL have settled their contractual dispute, and we have the regular officials back working all the NFL games this weekend.
Troy Brown, who came into the league the same year Drew Bledsoe was the #1 pick. He was picked in the last round and has been very productive. He's going to let it go, and it'll bounce into the end zone. So Tupa's kick will present a 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line for New England. 43 yards, 23 net. We'll return to Foxborough. And welcome back. Patriots had the ball for the first time. Drew Bledsoe now in his 9th year, just 500 yards away from joining that 30,000-yard club out of Washington State. Walla Washington.
Line of scrimmage to the 20. Is that in the Palouse?
That is on the Oregon-Idaho border. I think that doesn't qualify Palouse.
I'm never quite sure where the Palouse begins.
I'll take you there sometime. Hand off to Antoine Smith out to the 25, a gain of 5. Marvin Jones, the tackler. The Patriots line up this way with Light, Compton, Woody, and Druzzi, and Robinson, Randall. Antoine Smith, the former Buffalo Bill. Mark Edwards from Cleveland. Troy Brown and David Patton. He's an interesting story. We'll get to that. Rod Rutledge, the tight end. Patton brings new speed, and he's a graduate of the Arena Football League. 2nd and 5, and Smith can't get out of the backfield. Dropped for a loss of a yard as Mo Lewis is there for the stop. It's 3rd and 6. Here are the Jets defensively. Ellis, Barnes, Barton Martin picked up off the waiver wire, and John Abraham is a star to be. Mo Lewis, Marvin Jones, James Ferrier, familiar names at linebacker for New York. Aaron Glenn and Marcus Coleman at the corners. Damian Robinson acquired from Tennessee. And Victor Green, the safeties.
And the matchup to watch is that guy right there, John Abraham, going against a rookie at left tackle in Matt Light, their second-round draft choice from Purdue.
3rd and 6, a little shovel pass to Edwards, but doesn't fool the Jets. James Ferrier, and he stopped short of the first down. So the Jets bring on their punt return team with Chad Morton drifting back, and Lee Johnson, who now owns the punting yardage record in the National Football League, approaching 50,000 yards. That's somewhere around 28 miles. He could start kicking here and get all the way to Boston.
And all of that amassed over 17 years. That's a good life, 17 years as a punter.
Out of BYU, and he lost the spiral to the 20-yard line. And a fair catch, and just missing at the last minute. Diving job by was Gerard Cherry, eluding the penalty.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the HP PhotoSmart digital camera. How will you use it? Budweiser, with the crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer. And by Chrysler. Drive equals love.
Lee Johnson's 51-yard punt. Yet is, with all those years, 17 years, his longest ever was in the opener against Cincinnati, a 76-yard punt. And at the 21, the Jets put it in play. Testaverde off play action. Goes underneath, and short gain for Curtis Martin before Mike Vrabel can trip him up.
Well, one of the strange things happening on the field today, Dick, is going to involve Vinny Testaverde under center, looking across the line of scrimmage and looking right at Brian Cox, his teammate for the last 3 years. They know each other so well. They're friends. And Vinny said, I know what's going to happen right off the bat. He's going to be yelling, Vinny T, Vinny T. That's what he always called Vinny. And good friends, but today competitors.
Of course, knows the scheme for the Jets and will be trying to help out his new teammates. Martin, a former Patriot, a yard shy of the first down. Ty Law from the corner to make the stop. It'll be 3rd and 1. Yeah, he said, Cox, he'll try to make me smile and laugh. He said, but I know he's going to hit me, and I'm not going to be smiling much during this game.
You notice that neck brace that Brian Cox wears. Well, when he played for the Jets, it was green, and when he came to New England, he brought his green shoulder pads and neck brace with him, and the guys in the locker room said, Brian, you're in New England now. That the green pads have got to go. We do not wear green here in New England.
Ty Law, in making that tackle, Dan, injured and jogs off under his own power. You see Cox's record with the New York Jets, and over his career with 4 interceptions and 21 forced fumbles and 52 sacks.
You see them washing out the left eye of Ty Law. Hopefully nothing too serious.
Leonard Myers, a rookie, replaces him, number 25. 3rd and 1, right into the teeth of that Patriot defense, and pretty solid as Anderson met by Brian Cox. It'll be close for the first down.
Well, we mentioned the Patriots' number 2 draft choice starting at offensive tackle. Their number 1 draft choice, Richard Seymour. He's number 93 right at the bottom of there. You saw Brian Cox come flying in. So the Patriots getting playing time early from both of their top draft choices. The Richard Seymour out of Georgia, boy, he's going to be a good player in this league for a long time. 6'6", a little over 300 pounds. Still got room to grow, if you can imagine that.
Only 21 years of age. Was 2 times all SEC at Georgia, and his help on that stop will send the Jets punting team on the field. The other point, Dan, yesterday in talking with both Bill Belichick and Herman Edwards, and you asked the question, coaching this week, were you a little easier on them because of the circumstances, or were you tougher than normal? Interesting answer, and that was the same from both.
The same from both. They said, if anything, I was tougher on the guys. football players can't be given an excuse for failure, and both of them said, if anything, I was harder on the guys this week than I was the week before the opener. And it just a little insight as to what's involved in coaching in this business. There's no manual to tell these guys how to handle something like we've all been through as a nation. You have to go on your own and hope you figure it out.
Tupa's punt to Troy Brown. Brown at the 24. Gets a good block and then bumped out of bounds at the 30-yard line. 46-yard punt, 6 on the return. 9.5 minutes left in the opening quarter. New England and the Jets, no score. Sellout of 62,000 at Foxborough. Each stand presented with an American flag, and unanimous in our standing salute to the bravery of our firefighters and policemen. Kevin Falk, the new tailback in this sequence, and he able to struggle barely back to the line of scrimmage. John Abrahams sprinting in from that defensive end position. Log on to NFL.com for real-time scoring, up-to-the-minute stats, live play-by-play only at NFL.com or AOL keyword NFL.com.
Word comes along that Patriot cornerback Ty Law just had some debris in his eye. They've gotten it out, and he'll be back out the next time the Patriots are on defense.
Second and a long 10 for Bledsoe. And it's J.R. Redmond from Arizona State. Flag goes down as Redmond picks up 5 to the 35. Abraham and Ferrier collaborate on the tackle.
Not being able to predict the future with any regularity, I feel strongly, though, Dick, there will be more flags thrown this weekend than we have seen thus far.
Way to go out on a limb.
Yeah, the replacement officials were very sparing in their throwing of the flag.
Holding, offense, number 86, 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
David Patton, the wide receiver from West Carolina, who was kind of bounced around for a while, was out of football, working an $8 an hour job, and just wouldn't give up. He played at the Albany Fireballs in the Arena League.
Coaches realize that holding is going to happen with your tight end and your offensive lineman. They really become ill-tempered when it's a wide receiver who gets caught for holding. They realize how much they are out in the open, and they really work so hard at keeping their arms to the inside. It's just you cannot get away with anything when you're as exposed as a wide receiver.
So second down and 14. It's Troy Brown in motion and Bledsoe to throw. Underneath, complete to Redmond to the 35, so they picked up the 10 from the previous penalty, and it'll be third down and 5. Ferrier and Coleman made the tackle. J.R. Redmond, Joseph Robert.
He was their third-round draft choice last year, and again, Robert Edwards, who was hurt several years ago, the Patriots' #1 draft choice, not the answer this year. And desperately, this franchise seeks to find a running back and a running game to go with it. It's all Drew Bledsoe offensively, unfortunately.
Direct snap this time to number 33, and that's Kevin Falk, who kicks his way out to the 48-yard line.
Well, there's a little razzle-dazzle. Charlie Weiss, the offensive coordinator, goes into the bag of tricks early. Boy, look at that snap. Right to him. What a great job. Boy, that's a play that so easily can just fall apart. The snap's a little bit off. Boy, really well done. Mike Compton out in front with blocking. Robinson Randall out front. Good looking play, good pickup.
13 yards for Falk. That was his first carry of the season. This is Mark Edwards plowing through tacklers to the 37. Victor Green finally gets him to the green.
And what a nice addition for the Patriots is Mark Edwards. With the Cleveland Browns last year, Butch Davis with the new system in Cleveland really doesn't have need for a true fullback, and that's what Edwards is. And, Dick, it surprised us yesterday when we were talking to Bill Belichick about his running ability.
Yeah, he called him his best runner and maybe one of his best all-around players.
It kind of shocked both.
San Francisco and Cleveland, no one noted that total talent. Bledsoe. Good protection. Overthrown, and Victor Green was closer than David Patton.
That's not good. Victor Green, the Jets' strong safety, also has the reputation of one of the hardest hitting safeties in football. He led the team last year with